Welcome to Voices with the Welcome to Voices with the Lady D, where every voice has power. I'm your host, Lady D Denise Gomez Green, inviting you to join me each week for real conversations, powerful stories, and uplifting perspectives that shine a light on voices from the community and the diaspora. Kick off your week with the Monday Drive from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Dive deep on Thursdays with Center Stage from 6 to 8 p.m. And ease into your weekend with Satideh Mawnin Runnings every Saturday at 10 a.m. Catch Voices with the Lady D on YouTube, Caribbean Vibes Radio Network online, and YouTube, and Fit FM 96.7 in Stuart Castle, Trelawney, Jamaica, or tune in on Linkage Radio online. So lock in, turn it up, and remember, every voice has power. This is Voices with Lady D. Welcome to Voices with the Lady D, where every voice has power. I'm your host, Lady D Denise Gomez Green, inviting you to join me each week for real conversations, powerful stories, and uplifting perspectives that shine a light on voices from the community and the diaspora. Kick off your week with the Monday Drive from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Dive deep on Thursdays with Center Stage from 6 to 8 p.m. And ease into your weekend with Satideh Mawnin Runnings every Saturday at 10 a.m. Catch Voices with the Lady D on YouTube, Caribbean Vibes Radio Network online, and YouTube, and Fit FM 96.7 in Stuart Castle, Trelawney, Jamaica, or tune in on Linkage Radio online. So lock in, turn it up, and remember, every voice has power. This is Voices with Lady D. Ready for real talk and powerful conversations? Then subscribe to Voices with Lady D on YouTube, where culture meets commentary and the diaspora speaks loud and clear. Don't just scroll. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and tap the bell so you never miss a moment. From laughter to legacy, it's all happening here. Voices with Lady D, where every voice has power.
Minister Patrick Tyson and Brother Claver Shrouter, in collaboration with Sister Lemuel Hunt, presents A Taste of Heaven on Earth Part 2 on Saturday, September 13th, 2025, to be held at the Bronxwood International Church of God, located at 3232 Lurton Avenue in the Bronx. Featuring Minister Judith Gale, Minister O'Shane Mays from out of Jamaica, Minister Claver Shrouter, Minister Dwight Shrouter, Brother Tajay Nichols, aka Singer Wayne, and Sister Shakira. Tickets adults $40, children $25. Doors open at 5 p.m. Showtime 6 p.m. sharp. Your MCs for the evening will be yours truly, Minister Patrick Tyson and Lady D. A part of the proceeds from this event will go to Bronxwood International Church of God Carpet Project. This event is sponsored by Cool Runnings Jamaican Restaurant. For tickets and more information, you can contact Minister Tyson at 347-961-6785 or Minister Claver Shrouter at 914-336-0623.
Hey Trelawney, it's Lady D, reaching you straight from New York with love. Catch me every week on Fit FM 96.7 in Stuart Castle, Duncan's Trelawney, Jamaica. It's Voices with the Lady D on Linkage Radio, streaming live on YouTube. Join me Monday for the Monday Drive from 5 to 7 p.m. and Friday for Center Stage from 5 to 7 p.m. And me just want to know who under the mango tree with them iPhone, iPad, and transistor radio, because trust me, you can't afford to miss the show. Music vibes and real talk every time. Voices with Lady D, where every voice has power. Stay locked in. Trelawney, me love no bad. They say June is the month of weddings. But the truth is, love can happen anytime the heart is ready. This Saturday on Satideh Mawnin Runnings, where culture meets conversation, we're talking about the journey to I Do, with the theme, a wedding in June, or anytime love calls. So tell us, what was your wedding like? What are some weddings you've attended that left a lasting impression? And if you're not married yet, or know someone still waiting, what keeps the hope alive for that special day? Some couples choose to go big to celebrate tradition, honor family, or just live out the fairy tale. Others prefer something small and sweet, focused on love, not the limelight. No matter the size or season, every love story is unique. Let's share, reflect, and celebrate the beauty of commitment. Join us this Saturday at 10 a.m. on Voices with Lady D, live on YouTube. Satideh Mawnin Runnings, sweet, simple, soulful. Celebrate the heartbeat of Caribbean culture with Satideh Mawnin Runnings. Join us on Saturday at 10 a.m. on YouTube as we showcase the vibrant heritage of Jamaica and the wider Caribbean with 4 incredible women, Sherns, Max, Jackie, and yours truly, Lady D. From powerful stories to cultural traditions, we're bringing the flavor, rhythm, and excellence of the Caribbean straight to you. It's more than a show. It's a celebration of the roots and traditions that inspire and unite us. Subscribe to Voices with Lady D on YouTube and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to stay connected. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. it's Satideh Mawnin Runnings. Come feel the vibes. Satideh Mawnin Runnings, where Caribbean heritage comes alive. Morning. Morning. Morning.
Morning, morning.
Another Saturday. Another Saturday. Another Saturday. Another Saturday. Would like to welcome you to Voices with Lady D right here on Satideh Mawnin Runnings. And I am telling you, we are running this morning because on Satideh Mawnin Runnings, where culture meets conversation. And so we'll be talking, laughing, reminiscing, and perhaps empowering someone who has that mind to say, boy, I wonder, or Lord, I wonder if them all right in our marriage, if they only just look so,
Right.
you know.
Yep. All right,
Okay,
ready?
she fell off.
Yes, somehow
She fell off.
she got a little
Apparently.
excited. Well, she's a
Yes.
newlywed, sort of newlywed. Anniversary is coming up, so you know, here she is, still talk. There she is. Where-
I'm on Facebook.
She's coming back. Oh, that's Jackie.
Hey,
Good morning, Miss
Jackie.
Jackie.
Hey,
How are you? You look
trying to wake up.
spiffy. You look spiffy.
Trying to wake up.
I can tell.
Okay.
I worked
No
last night. I didn't
no
get home
chocolate
until
peach cake
3.
today. You was
Oh
I didn't
what?
get home
Lord.
until 3 this morning.
Oh wow, you poor thing.
Oh,
Gosh.
You hear that? You hear the chorus? And who is this
oh,
beautiful lady? Where's our hostess?
she fell off.
Where's our?
She's
She
trying
fell
to
off
get
Like
her
back.
Yvonne
fish.
said earlier.
I hope she realized we're not hearing her, I'm
She
not sure
drop off
probably.
her fish.
I hope
Wait,
she realized she's not here.
let me give
I
her a
hope she
ring.
realized she's not here.
She's talking
I'm
about
sure she does. Maybe,
Probably
yeah, I'm
somebody need to
sure.
call her, right?
Yeah, I'm calling her
Jackie
right
Collins.
now.
Okay, because she's probably not aware that she's not on. I mean, but if you're not seeing yourself on the screen, then you should know you're not on, right?
It depends on
See?
what she's looking at.
That's true because just now I logged in and I could see you guys and
Like
you
she's
guys
trying
couldn't
to
see
fix
me. So
whatever it is
I
because
jumped off and came back in.
she declined the call, so she's probably trying to fix whatever it is. Should we? I wonder if we should all jump off and then let her come back in with everybody.
No, don't jump off. Let her, she'll probably text us and tell us what's happening. Next thing we all jump off and whatever.
Yeah.
Worst case, we
Miss
can
Charlotte,
carry on the show
Miss Charlotte,
Yes,
because we're
ma'am.
I
live
would
in.
like to know, you
Yes.
see, the reason why you are terrorizing us, me in particular, with your
You
Jamaican mangoes, and you're singing them.
Stop there for a minute, Jackie. Stop there for a minute. Because I have one with you too. Because you were terrorizing us the other day with your fish. So the matter come call with Shirley about your terrorizing because you did the same thing, sweetheart.
thank you, Max. You defend me,
I
y'all.
the only one fish. I the only one fish, Max, for one day. But me talking about every day here.
But me not start yet, cause to the me I go a bush a
She
cook
not
out. So
start yet.
me I go share all the happenings.
You hear that? She not start
Yes.
yet.
Me trying to get
You
back.
know what that is?
Yeah.
That is brewing. Me I look ticket. You sure that make me go online looking tickets.
You should
I
always
think
be
she's
looking for tickets. I'm always looking for tickets.
Me go
Always.
online looking for tickets to see if I can find any cheap tickets.
Look early, you
Because
will
I
find
say,
something.
because I say,
Uh-huh.
them stringy mango, them I really sit down under the tree with your Sharons.
Trust me, me
I'm not
need
like
money for
I'm not
help.
like string.
I need a lot of
I
help.
like
No,
string.
they're good. Stringy mango is good. You get a good stringy mango. I'm common
Yeah.
mango.
No.
I'm sorry,
String
not
you string
stringy.
up your teeth. But
Common
I can't eat
mango.
too much mangoes anyway. I
You
can't
get
make
a
a
Can
big
you
more
good
than two,
common
maybe.
mango.
can you
Me
I
say
hear
me
have
go at
three.
sunrise. I went over by sunrise by my brother's house the other day
the
because
thing
he
I
Oh,
switch
she's
to
back.
it on
has
your
big
The
one
host
there?
red
is
fish.
the
You
host has
can hear me?
returned.
Can you
Oh,
hear
Yes,
me?
we're hearing you,
oh, she's
Pussycat.
back.
Yes.
Yes, we're hearing
Okay.
you.
All right. So, hey, I had
We
to
were
do
on the mango
something
topic.
quickly. Had to do something quickly. So, morning again. So, welcome, Sharik. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank
Um,
you. It's an honor.
Sharon's brag about the wedding, and so on. So, before we get into all of that, and since I had some technical difficulties, and now we're back together again, let me just say a quick good morning to everyone. And what are we talking about on Satideh Mawnin Runnings this morning? A wedding in June or anytime love calls. So, some of us didn't get married in June, so it called us at another time in the
Yeah.
year. And we
Yeah.
know
Okay.
for women, particularly, we look forward to being, you know, falling in love. Most of us, when we were younger, we said by the time we were 25, we would be married and so on. And then it went beyond 25, and nothing is wrong with that. And we also wonder, how the marriages have lasted for so many years. And we want to hear the scoop. And so we also wonder, so, those are married for 30 years and so on. Has it always been blissful? And then we want to know if, somebody invite you, if you don't go because you did hope.
Oh my goodness. What?
Wait, we're going with D this morning. Right, what New York internet is acting up. They want to get married. They must want a partner. New York internet need partnership. Must get jealous. This is June, and New York need partnership.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah, sometimes it's just internet in our house. If it's man-made, it's liable to break.
Yes, everyone said, Jackie, you don't need to talk. You were terrorizing us a week ago. Thanks for the hometown Montego Bay tour.
Oh Lord. Ever I have one right here in my hand, I could hand to you.
Yes. So you're hearing me?
Yes, we
Yes,
are.
we are.
Yes. What's going on
Yes.
this morning?
Something going on with the stream. It keeps kicking out. So we just welcome you to the show and let's start the conversation because we need to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
So welcome to another show. So ladies, I usually ask, how no do?
Who is doing?
Okay.
Maybe barely. I mean, I haven't lost energy. I was telling my mother the other day, regardless of these hours that I'm working, I don't feel like I'm losing energy. It's just that I know I need to sleep. I went on to work last night, yesterday at 2:30 actually got in, and I didn't leave until almost 3 o'clock this morning. So, I find out I'm losing my voice. My voice is changing and all that, which I was also informed that it's something called the new menopause.
Okay.
Voice change thing,
That's the show. That's the show.
Welcome to my world.
So that's another show.
Okay.
That's another
Welcome
show.
to Hot Flash. And the news flash method.
Sherry, don't never mind, honey. You are miles away from there. Miles away. Okay. Miles away. You're not even in the ballpark.
We also need to do a show called Lyrics Over 50. Because me get some lyrics the other day from somebody. I may have to inform the person, the man. Me say, sir, I am over 50 years old. You understand that? The lyrics, me have to go. No, we need to do a show like that because that's something else. Because I learned a few things too during that time. But anyway, lady, I don't want to take away from what you started with. So let's continue.
That's all right. So it's a pleasure to.
Oh, there she goes again. Oh my gosh. And it just start to get sweet, we have to really just start talking. Because
yes,
it just
every
start
time
to
we
get
divert,
sweet.
Every time we try to divert something, it pops.
Oh my gosh. But no, trust me. This
back.
Yes.
And she's gone again.
Oh my gosh. It's really bad. That was happening to me down here a few weeks ago. So I really do understand what's going on. It's
yes,
gonna keep
the internet
until it settles down.
I don't know.
The internet can be very cruel. I know that.
With the page, so it is the platform I'm using, which doesn't usually happen. So I don't know if they're having some technical challenges.
Oh.
Their end.
I don't try to charge.
No, me pay.
It usually don't happen, so I don't know. But anyway,
so
let's get to it. Let's get to it.
So want to say good morning. So Sharik, when we start the conversation, give me a minute. Let's just pop on over and just greet everybody before, So as usual, we want to say hi to Drea. Drea is our good friend Sharik, and she's in Barbados. So morning. Welcome to Charlesy. Morning, family, as usual. Marie's in the house, early bird, and gorgeous lady You are my celebrities. I tell you, we made it.
How we I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's your Lady D gone? All right, but before Lady D come back, did you say Sharik?
Yes, it's Sharik.
No. Me know who Sharik is. But me
Really?
Oh, I
never
thought you
know
said
say
Sherry.
it was Sharik. All
Is it
right.
because you know my mom, maybe?
Yes, me used to go to Bronxwood.
Oh, okay,
Oh, so
okay,
Sharik
okay.
also don't even know who I am.
No, I don't remember. Sorry.
All right, we'll reveal all of that.
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
realize it was Sharik. I'm saying Shari. I didn't realize it was Sharik. I know Sharik. I know who Sharik is.
All right. So I'm back. So forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. We're having some technical challenges with the StreamYard platform, which never happens. It keeps chipping out. So I just closed that page and opened a new page. So I'm hoping we'll be fine now. But I thank the ladies. They just know how to roll with the situation. So happy Saturday morning runnings from our producer, Mr. Evo Green. Good morning, Mr. Green. You're working hard.
And,
Good morning, producer.
Anytime you hear
good
Jackie's,
afternoon.
you know she coming with something. So also welcome to Minty Morning, Minty. That's Minty, my
Yeah, I'm
dear
into
heart.
the ball.
Never, never, ever considered getting married in June. See, that's what Drea said. Drea, what month did you get married again? I was the bridesmaid of honor. He says, Jackie, you know, if you talk, you were terrorizing us a week ago. Thanks for my hometown Mobe tour. We would love a Julie Mango. Hey. He says, I'm gonna be a mango tree breeze I blow up on YouTube this morning.
No, because while you were out, when you cut out one of the times we're talking about mangoes, we had to Shernette said she terrorizing my mouth.
Yes.
Mango.
Lord. Carol, morning. Good to have you, Carol. My brother Mike is here. Morning, Mike. Mike, do you have us on the TV screen so your grandchildren can see and you can work from your
Yeah, sir.
phone?
Boss. Eh?
See, D gone
No,
again. Boy, I don't know what's
no,
happening
you
this
see me,
morning.
no, you don't. No, you see me, no, you don't. Oh, Lord.
StreamYard messing us up this morning. I'm gonna have to send them a note. So at the end of the show, you can do that at the end of the show. It asks you about
No,
the
but I'm
quality
saying
of the
we are fine. It's on her end.
yeah,
She's
it's on
doing the
her end. But
beginning.
remember, she's a host, so it probably
I
is
know.
acting a
I
little
know.
bit different on her side.
Okay, I'm back. Morning, Cat. And so we say, yeah, Shakira, welcome. And
Welcome,
let's start.
Star.
Yes, the talk begins. So, I'm sorry about that. It doesn't usually happen. So, we're celebrating. June is wrapping up, and they say June is the month of weddings. But the truth is, love can happen anytime the heart is ready. So, we have Sharik here this morning as our guest. And thank you so much, Sharik, for coming in with us. And, we could start off with you and just roll right through because we want to know at what age you got married, why you got married, how the marriage.
How the marriage
Okay, so
a
just go on,
go, how it
shots.
go, how
All
it
right.
a go,
Start with
and
that.
and how and what you expect for the future. So we kind of finish up for Lady D. You can start. Lady D
Okay.
kind of finish up the sentence for you. So now that you're back, you can
Yes.
see if we get it right.
Oh, no problem. Hey, so Sharik, you can tell us, I heard the wedding was a huge one, that
Yes.
it was so glamorous and all kind of loss. So we want to hear about that and why you staged it the way you did. What was it like and so on. So, you can start talk up the things for us this morning.
Was it a
And
do money?
to those of you who are married, you can share when you got married, what write it in the chat, why you got married, how it's going. So Sharik, you go ahead.
Okay, so hi everyone again. My name is Sharrock Jenkins. It really is a pleasure to be here hanging out with you guys this morning. So I guess the marriage thing started, the idea of marriage started from when I was younger. I grew up in a two-parent household. My parents have been married for almost 21 years now, or 21 years, I believe their anniversary just passed. And almost every person in my life that I look up to, that I've grown up around, have all been in long-term marriages. For example, Auntie Shern, and a few other church mothers at Bronxwood. So I've always been surrounded by marriage. I've always wanted to be married. It's just something that I'm a lover girl, essentially. am I am I still on? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
Okay,
yes,
you
great.
just sound
Go
nice.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Great,
yes.
great,
You're
We
the
great.
give you the
focal
stage.
point.
We give you the stage.
So yes, it is always something that I've just always wanted, but it was something that was a bit far fetched. I thought to myself, whenever it happens, it'll just happen. And then I came across my now husband, and I don't know. I think after dating him for the first year or so, I realized how much I was changing as a woman, becoming a better woman. And I've also realized how much closer I was getting to God, even by being with Him. So that was a real big green flag for me. That okay, like I think this is the one. I think this guy is the one. And then I remember having a very serious conversation with God, and essentially just telling him like, hey, if this is what you want from me right now, if this is the man that you want me to marry, then you have to show me. You have to show up in real time. Okay, I can't do the visions and dreams. I need you to show up for me in real time. And he sure enough did. And from there
So,
it
so,
was
so, so what men do, Sharik, he may come stand up like you see one emoji just drop down and then just come stand up and say, you,
well
marrying you.
And how you met him? How did you meet him?
so I met him. He actually DJ'd a friend's weddings of mine a year before we started.
Okay.
So I noticed him from that wedding, but never really kept in touch or anything of that sort until the following year. He ended up coming back around, and honestly, we were inseparable since. Um, but when you ask like how God showed up, honestly, it was just a situation that I felt like I needed God to fix like immediately. Like I was like, hey, if you want me to move forward with this situation needs to be fixed. And I kid you not, the situation was fixed in 3 days. After the third day, the entire situation made a complete 180. And to me, I felt like that was God showing me, like, listen, like, just relax. I got everything figured out. We're going to have this work out for you. And sure enough, it did. From that, it was bliss from then. He proposed to me in March of 2023, and we got married in January of 2024. So we
Oh, it
are,
was January.
yeah, we're about a year and what, six or 7 months in now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it
Nice.
was an actual June wedding.
Great.
Yes. January.
Awesome, awesome. So, you know, something though, some people will meet someone for the first time and there is something, and they may not see them again, you know, just in passing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, true.
There's a connection that you make, but somehow you don't see each other again. And for some people, they meet again
Yeah.
and they
Mhm.
just pick up. So that's beautiful. Thank you. Now, Sharon's had showed us some pictures and videos. I mean, how you came up with the theme. I wish we had asked you to maybe give us some photographs or something just so that we could flash for the
Okay.
audience or a video, but that's all right. You were all there, so you can just share about the theme of the wedding.
Yeah, so the theme was like a winter wonderland kind of feel. I knew that I wanted everything to be white, crystals, acrylics. I didn't have any specific color except for the bridal party. They had like a cool blue type of color, but everything was just white and crystal. We had a lot of like white trees, white cherry blossom trees in the ceremony room. Everything was I wanted everyone to kind of walk into the room and feel as if they're walking into this wonderland type of place, and we definitely achieved that.
Believe me, you did. It was a wow from the get. From the
Yes.
door, we were like, wow. Everywhere you look, you were like, wow. So the wow factor was very much present.
Yes, it was absolutely beautiful. And I believe that one of the other things that I really wanted to make sure of, we had a lot of people there. We had almost 300 people at the wedding. But
Whoa.
Wow,
uh,
that's huge.
And they
we
say,
had
oh,
a
what
lot of like personalized things for every person that was there. Every person had
Yes,
a personalized name tag, a
yes.
personalized thank you card.
And the
You know,
flutes, the champagne flutes.
yes, the champagne flutes as well. It was very
Yes.
important for us to let everyone feel that although it's a lot of people there, that everyone felt very special, and felt that they were handpicked because they were, you know. So it was just a beautiful wedding. All the family and friends that flew in from Jamaica and all these other places to come and witness this union. Honestly, the feeling in the ceremony room, it was so emotional, so heavy. It was just beautiful from beginning to end.
Nice.
It
Awesome.
I
was.
wasn't there, but so it kind of make me feel like I was. Sharon had shared a few
Yes.
pictures. I said,
Yeah,
oh,
I just the way the room was described, I feel that way
have
too. I
fuse
feel
me in
like
the
I'm in
middle
the
of that,
room.
in the middle of that cake, or standing up by that cake, right? That's all. You understand?
And another crazy fact is that when the wedding came, there were a lot of like reunions that we didn't expect. So there were like people that went to primary school together, or people that went to a church from 20, 30 years ago, from his family to my family. It's like every minute it was someone connecting, saying, oh, I was friends with this person 12 years
You
ago,
know
15
what?
years ago. It was really, it was big.
You know what? People don't realize that these occasions bring people together, literally, and you
Absolutely.
might run
Yes,
into somebody you haven't seen in ages, and it turns out to be a
yes,
reunion. It's a
Yes.
union, which is also a reunion. So
yes,
that's the
reunion.
beautiful
Yes,
thing about weddings and
yes,
even funerals.
right.
yes.
So we're
I was
gonna
thinking the same thing, Jackie. I was thinking funerals too. Yes.
Mhm.
So we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get
That's
back.
that.
We'll come back to you, Sharik. So welcome everyone. A wedding in June or anytime love.
Anytime love happens, I'm sure that's what she was going to say. And it doesn't matter
Yes.
when, whether it's winter, spring, fall, or summer, it's beautiful because I've seen weddings happen on pure snow. I've
Yeah.
seen that on snow, and it's beautiful. Like that's a natural winter wonderland. So
One.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when and
That
where.
is right. So here, let's take a quick message here because Carol says, so Carol lives in Jamaica. I got married last June. Beautiful day. Would do it again. Same husband. I love it.
Awesome.
You
Very
know
good.
something? I met Carol on our boat ride, the clothing network out of our church. We used to have a fashion show where Jackie would come and help us with the models and what have you. We would have fashion show, and then I gave it up and passed it on to some other people, and so they got even more creative, and then we had boat rides, about 3 boat rides we had.
Yeah.
And I had met her on a boat ride, not for fashion show, but I met her on a boat ride and just talking. And so she went back to Jamaica and we keep in touch. And it's one day I see Carol send me a picture. I'm like, Carol was looking fabulous. The dress, oh my God, the tall, dark, handsome husband. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
yes, because that would have been a second round for her. and he
Okay.
said,
Okay.
you know, how happy she is, and she got married in June. So congrats. But what we would like to hear from you ladies now, I'm not saying much about mine. You all interviewed Evel and I recently, but of course, our first anniversary will be coming up on August 31. So that will be a Sunday. So, you know, we could do something this Saturday. So we are not really in the
Yes.
mix of this thing here
My
today.
goodness. Pause. Did you say August? I just around the gosh, time flies.
And look how we still look young
I
and
tell
good.
you.
I'm up for this
I
wedding.
tell you.
Oh my God. Look there.
Yes, it's almost a year.
Yes,
Time
ma'am.
waits on no man.
Believe me, the years for an old fogey like myself, the years go
Sure.
by very quickly.
Very
Mhm.
Yes.
quickly.
They go
I'm
by.
just
They
trying to
go.
keep up these days.
That's
Yeah.
why I need to do
Yeah,
this thing. That's why I need to do this thing again because the years going by.
Yes,
You
Jackie,
can find this. You
time
can
I
find
catch
this.
up. Time catching up.
Way I see and all of that, you know, wrinkles and things like that. But
Yeah. But
yeah.
but really though, so like Sharon's, when you were getting married, and remind us how long you've been married now?
Oh God, I'm going on 42 this year.
oh my gosh, sure.
42
Yeah.
No
years.
matter how fast we run, we
I
can't
was
catch your
I
shirt.
was a baby. I was a baby.
But what
Let me get, wait,
the breeze, the blow Sharon's away, the mobile breeze.
I'm here. I didn't go anywhere.
Just
Yeah,
freeze.
your voice phased out a while
Yeah.
ago.
Oh,
Go ahead. Because before you respond, what I want to ask is, like Sharik, who said she always wanted to get married, Denise, the very same, and most women, we know that.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes, even though we are taught that girls are supposed to do this and do that, and we're cultured in a particular way, and they are prepping us, priming us for this grand the event of the wedding, but then the marriage aspect of it is on us. That's
Exactly.
where we now start to unravel who we really are and our partners and so on, and just how we navigate. Because some people, it's maybe the following morning they say, but I should marry this a man, or
All
one
right.
them
Oh my.
All right. No,
Oh
no,
Lord.
she have a point because
Yes.
because
You
a
start
day
having
later,
regret to call them there.
a day later, hours later, how many times have you seen it happen in Hollywood where people get married and hours later you hear that they got the marriage annulled, you know?
Yes.
So that's a real thing. It's a real thing. You don't even know the stories behind it. They come out and tell you something on the news or on the social media or whatever. But when you check out the real stories,
The
probably
real reason is not. Yeah, usually
years.
they don't reveal the real reason. Yeah.
No, you
Exactly.
see
Wow,
what
it's
it is.
crazy.
I think a lot of people are in love with love. You know what I mean? They are in love with the whole
Yes.
idea of love, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
realize that I was actually in somebody's wedding. I was a bridesmaid in a wedding, and and the bride was a good friend of mine, and I was appalled because when she was doing her vows, she thought it was funny at the end, but I didn't think it was, and it was her wedding. But when they're doing the vows, and it's not like now when you write your own vows. Back in them days, you had to say for richer, for poor, and all that.
Mhm.
And
Right.
every
The
minister,
normal one. Yes.
and when the minister said for richer, she said for richer. And when he said for poorer, she wouldn't say for poorer.
Mm.
And we are standing
Wow.
there. I'm one of the bridesmaids, and I'm standing there. And at first, everybody was like, but then we realized it was becoming sort of a deafening silence, if you
Oh
want to
my
call it
God,
that.
that must have been uncomfortable.
Yes.
Jeez.
And
Because you
then,
know what, you know what, you know what. Sorry, ladies. But I have to butt in here, Shirley. Not that you're saying that, Shirley. I've been to a few weddings well since I have been married, and I have observed that weddings for the most part are not as serious as in our time, back in our days. The vow part of it is not as serious. People tend to just joke it out and say it lightly as if it doesn't mean anything, but it's a very solemn vow that you take when you get married. But these days it's taken lightly. But it should be very solemn and very meaningful. It should come from deep within here, not just from up here.
Yeah.
You know?
You should mean what you, even if you elect to or to write your own vows. Nothing wrong with that, but you should really mean it. And you have to realize that life will throw you a curveball here and there. It's not always going to be hunky-dory and hand-holding season. You're going to go through. I have gone through four decades, and at each turn it's different. When I got engaged, I was only 17, and I was not given the support. Everybody was like, no, except for my grandparents. Nobody said, good idea, do it, very good. Everybody was like, no, sir, you're too young. Look around, other fish in the sea. You have to make some comparisons, and you have to this and you have to that. And I'm like, if I find, I was very mature. I was mature very early, because I remember at like 13, 14, I felt fully mature. I mean, I had responsibilities. I was raising my grandparents, running the household, sending myself to high school, doing the house budget, all of that. So I felt very capable. So when I left, I got together with my husband at 15, and I thought I felt completely capable. He's from an old family. He's the last one. So all of his siblings were older. So that kind of helped, because they were like big sisters to me and big brothers. So that helped. We had an amazing group of grown-ups who supported us. But it was like, no, you're not ready yet. And wait, I had somebody in my family tell me, wait till you're 30. You're not ready. Like 30. I said 30. I'm all the way up
Listen, I didn't even put it up and say 30.
30. 30.
That time the eggs are already getting old. They might get up boil hard.
Yes.
The egg, them might get powder. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, but some people, that you should be in it for the long haul, is what I'm saying. And you don't know what the long haul would be. So just treasure each moment and the person that you're with through all the seasons of life. Because it's a lot of seasons. A marriage goes through seasons. Just like how we have the 4 seasons, it goes through seasons.
Right.
If you look it up, you will see it. It tells you, you're in the formative stages. You're gathering moss. You're making a home. Next thing you know, you have the home, whatever. You're raising children. You're this, your career. It's a lot. But you just have to know that you're in it. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Because after all that glamour and glitz,
it's a lot of undertakings. Yes,
it's a lot of work. And both parties.
And for me as well, like I took my vows extremely seriously, because the way I looked at it was, I'm not only promising my husband, but I'm also promising God that I'm going to take care of his child, of his son, just like he promised God that he will take care of me. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I take my Christian walk very seriously. So I'm like, if I'm going to stand in front of God and say, this is the covenant I am willingly entering into, and this is the promises that I am making for a long-lasting marriage, I'm not trying to break my promise with God. I'm not trying to do that. So if I'm going to stand in front of God, say this is what's going to happen, this is what I am stepping in this covenant to do, it's expected of me to follow up with what I'm saying. So I took my vows extremely seriously, and so did my husband. If we're going to say this, we're going to mean it in front of all these people, where it's just not no fluff situation. We're going to do what we need to do to make sure we get to where we need to get to. And that was very evident in our vows as well.
Very much so, yes.
Some couples married not only because they want to be married. But so you have some people who carelessly married because of the gifts and the money that they're gonna get at the wedding.
Yes.
Oh my.
I couldn't believe that. I heard that on social media, which is sad.
That is
That's
sad.
what it's all about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I got Norman and we got married that time. I was 27 when we got married, and he was 29 when we got married. We got married in Jamaica, and of course, that was donkey years ago, 30 odd years ago, 35 going 36 years ago. This is a picture of us. If you can see it. That's a picture of us.
Bring it right up to the camera.
No, man had a full head of hair, Max.
Move right.
Yes, I had a lot of hair. Yes,
and you too. Both of you.
Yes. Yes, we both had good hair. Yeah, I had a little they had to put a little piece on the side, but it was
Eric, want to see? Put it back up, Max.
I was saying, can I bring a picture too?
Yes, we've been asking for a picture.
Okay, all right.
Yes, if you can send it to me in my WhatsApp, that would be good.
That's a picture of the cake.
I can hold it up now if you want to see one. I can grab one.
That would be nice. Please do.
That's a picture of the cake. But our wedding back then, as I said, it was 38 years ago. We got married in Jamaica. Yes, at a church in Kingston. The reception was happened in Kingston as well. Everything happened in Kingston because I was the one living in Kingston then. He was living in Manchester, so everybody had to come over to Kingston to meet the Queen. All right, so
hello.
And it's funny because, but you know how much I paid. We paid the guy that did the reception was an Indian guy named Justin. Never forget his name. I was introduced to him by my supervisor back then. And he did the reception at his house, so in some posh part in Kingston. I don't remember the name of the area of Kingston, but he did it at his house, set up the lawn, nice lawn. Everything was set up outside. And I'm telling you, in the middle of the nice reception going on, the rain came when I was like, Lord. Yes, it started raining. We had to run into the house with everything. I have pictures of me holding up the gown, and it got a little messy with the rain, but it was a wonderful wedding. But the one thing I recall, a few things that I recall is that we paid like $50 per plate for the food. $50. So it's a long time that. $50 Jamaican dollars per plate for the food. I paid $1,500 for the cake. I got quite a few cakes, and the cake was sumptuous. That's the display of the cake, as you can see. But
Max,
yeah, I had one of those. I had 12 cakes.
Move right. Move to the middle of the camera. Move to the middle of the camera. No, you're moving away from up.
Up
a little bit. Yes. All right. Go there.
Yeah, so that was picture of the cake. I have quite a few pictures of us. And if you have ever heard about OMT4, they sang at my wedding. Well, a member from OMT4. That's been there. Yes.
Wait. We know
because I worked with the Tuckers. I worked with Speedographic at the time, and he was the sales manager there. But he's a member of OMT4. That's Winston Tucker.
Yes,
and a friend of his that sang at my wedding. Never have heard the song because they did the singing while I was in the back. Because we didn't get the wedding videotape. We were supposed to, but it didn't happen. But it was a night. But the one thing that one issue I had that evening was there was a wedding at 1 p.m. in the same church. There was one at 2, there was one at 3, and mine was at 4.
Oh my!
So mine was the last wedding for the day. Yes, and because of that, I didn't get to decorate the church. I had to stop to do it, but it couldn't happen because we're running from one wedding into the next. And by the time the one at 3 ended, it was time for mine to start. So the church was not decorated. But anyway, the wedding went on. It was a beautiful wedding, I can recall. Another thing I can recall is, when you're excited, you can eat. So we're at the table and we were served our meals. Of course, they served us first. Yeah. And I couldn't eat. So at the end, somebody dished out some food and gave it to us to take to the hotel with us. We stayed at Wyndham Hotel in New Kingston the night. And they had the food on top of the car that we were driving. And we forget the food was on top of the car and we drove off. So everything just went away. When we got to the hotel, me say, hungry, kill me.
Oh my God.
I am right there with you.
after all that, and I'm telling you, it was a lot of food in there. They made curry goat, fried chicken, rice and peas, and
So
managed
where were
water,
your
all kind of stuff. And
attendants?
I
Did
was,
somebody couldn't put it in the
Yeah.
car for you?
Sometimes
I
that
don't know
part
what
goes
happened, but
like
somebody put it on top of the car, and we just drive up and remember some food up there, and so all of that just went down the drain.
Y'all was just rushing to get to the get to. That's what happened. You were trying to get
We
to
don't
the
know about that.
hotel to the get to.
You tell her.
No, Max. Nobody going like say I was on the menu too. Okay, that had to be
Yes.
on the menu.
Another thing I can recall is we got a lot of gifts because back then people took gifts to weddings.
Go ahead.
They really
Hot.
brought gifts. Not
Glass.
much people bought, but not much people. Sorry.
Plate and pot and glass and pan.
Yes, and that's the point I'm coming to. I recall getting the same two gifts were given to me, and it was the same thing. Two people gave gifts, and I got the same. I got a set of trays, small different sizes of trays, and another person gave me a set of tray, and another person gave me a set of glass, and another person, and they were identical as if they shopped in the same store. So
yeah, glad we evolved.
I regifted it. I regifted both because my supervisor was one of the person who helped me with the wedding. She was the person who collected all the gifts and took them to her house.
Max,
So I just regifted them.
My haberdashery.
What was that?
She said, "Oh, my haberdashery."
I ended up with 2 tea kettles. I ended up with pots, like a single pot. I got quite a number of gifts, I must say. My boss back then gave me a whole 8-piece setting. It was a lot of gifts. And by the way, Norman Daddy gave us a cow.
That is
Father
legacy.
gave us a cow as a wedding present.
You get a whole cow that'll let you know you could have a pasture full of cows. By now, you know, if you had kept that cow, you know.
The one cow.
Yes.
And
He
legacy
gave it to us, but it was still in his care. It was in its care, but he gave us a cow.
listen to me. You know what they call cow in Jamaica right now?
What?
University.
$1 million.
They call it university. Them say, oh yeah, university, because you can sell a cow and send your child to university. How expensive it is.
Yes.
Makes sense. Yes. Yeah, he gave us a cow. Never forget.
If it's a bull, you couldn't rent it out, you know.
If a bull, you rent the bull, and if
yes.
He
gave us a rent.
But anyway.
Rent a bull around here.
So you remember I brought on that blue dulcimina onto the show a few weeks ago. That blue dulcimina, that was what I bought. I bought that dulcimina uptown Ligani Plaza for $150 to bring on my honeymoon. That was what I bought that for.
That dulcimina is legacy too. Yes.
Yes, so I still have that from the wedding.
See your picture, Sherry. Hopefully, Lady can come
Oh yes, I have a few that I hung up. So here's one.
Okay, beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Come closer.
Sherry, I just came back. Can I hold on a minute? I just popped back in. Can I just do a solo layout so we can see properly?
Yes.
Yeah, so it will open up. Yeah.
I love that arch. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yes, it's nice.
This is the one I showed Lady D before you came back.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look at picture of my bridal party.
Yes.
Ooh, that
nice.
is nice.
I love the colors.
Well
the
laid
soft
out.
blue.
The colors are nice and the layout is beautiful.
It's like a winter blue.
Like
winter blue. That's beautiful.
You represent nice. You represent the cloud. You represent the clouds and the girls.
Yes.
Oh, the winter sky. That's beautiful.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see what else. I think I have one more.
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you,
Yes,
when she was coming in, oh wow. Yes.
I love that.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Isn't it cute?
And Sherry, how many dresses did you have, honey?
I had 3 dresses.
I know.
Wow.
So the first one that you saw with the cloud looking, it actually was one dress with a skirt attachment. So I took off the skirt attachment for the reception entrance.
For reception, yeah.
And then at like the middle of this reception to the end, I changed into another dress. So, I can have fun and dance and party without
without being entangled with the dress. Yeah.
Nice.
It's funny because back then I never it was just the one dress for me back then. I mean, most people back then, they never did any changing much because there wasn't any dancing and carrying on at my wedding, really and truly. Because as I said, the reception was held at somebody's house and the rain started falling. So we just did the reception, did everything there, and it ended right there.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
Lovely,
Hold it up again, Sharon.
Hold it up again.
You gotta hold it up again.
Whoops.
Hi, breeze, I blow you away.
She have the window open.
Caribbean breeze. Hold it up some more, right up to the camera. We can't see it clearly. Yes, much better.
Yes,
oh, look
that's
at young shirts. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
On another note.
I see that. You're a thin bride.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Naturally,
I wish you could go back to being thin. My dress was made by a lady, and she warned me. The lady that made my dress in Kingston back then, because we went shopping for everything, the beads, the sequins. She warned. She said, don't gain an inch, because once she put the dress together and I started fitting the dress, every time I go fit it, she would tell me, you can't gain any weight. And the same bra, I used to fit the dress I had to wear the day of my wedding. So I had to save that bra to make sure I wore that bra on the day of the wedding.
I couldn't even wear one because I didn't have much. I was still developing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, me with me, I was up now.
Yes.
But while you guys are showing pictures and stuff, I don't have one of mine because when I walked, I dashed with everything. I don't even know where it is, So that's the other part of a marriage or of bliss that turns ugly, and it's reality, and we just had to So I don't regret being married because of course it taught me a lot of lessons. But I too knew if it weren't, like I said, when we had that show with me and my ex-husband, if everything was not already in motion, and if I was out in the world, I would just call everything off.
Scrap it, yeah.
Because I was walking into that church that day, I was walking into that marriage that day, knowing pretty well that it may not work. So that's another part of this thing that we need to pay close attention. Pay attention to your heart, what you feel, what you see happening around you, the situations that I was actually, if everything wasn't already in motion, my family and people coming from Jamaica, from Florida, from Canada, from all over, if they weren't already on those planes or already in New York, I would not have shown up. And if I was like the person I was when I was out in the world at the time, I would just...
You would not show up.
I would just call everybody and say, listen, this now go on, because this is not for me. And I was known to tell people that, hey, listen, this is not for me, so you can take a walk. I was known for that. My family, my friends used to say, boy, Jackie, we wish we were like you, where we could just tell people, the truth so they won't waste their time. That day, I feel like I wasted a lot of people's time. And that's one thing we don't want to happen in the future to other people, especially young couples, people who are dating, people who are in their singles ministry at their church or whatever. Don't let anybody at church force you to get married.
No. You should do it because deep within you want and deep within you.
Listen to your own heart. Pay attention, be smart, read a lot. Don't even take too much from what people say. Listen to your own self. So that's my
Yes,
advice. And
because at the end of the day, it's not people that.
I wish you. Sharon said she didn't know who I was. I was married to Patrick Tyson. If you didn't know,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's where you know me, and that's how I know you. And you as a young couple, as a young married woman, enjoy your husband. Let him enjoy you. Have lots of conversations. Open up and talk to each other. Don't be friends even while you're married.
Yes,
Be friends. Take date
yes, he
nights.
should be your best
And,
friend. Yeah,
yeah. And don't be afraid to touch and feel your husband's face and talk to him and see if him all right. And look in him eyes, and if you see that it droop a little bit, you know says something wrong.
Mm.
And don't brush it under the rug. You deal with it
yes,
there and then. Don't let the sun
yes,
go down with your grouses. Never let the sun go down
yes,
with your grouses. Deal with it before it festers. Because when it festers and it busts out in a pretty, you understand?
I know. Tell me about it.
That's
Yep.
my advice to you. Love on him and let him love on you. Keep friends aside and let him in.
Yeah.
You understand? So
Because
you know
at the
what
end
to
of
do.
the day, he's
Mommy
first.
and daddy have been married for
He's
a
first,
long
last, and
time.
everything. Yep.
They can tell you the ups and downs of this thing because it takes work.
Yeah.
It takes work. I wanted a marriage like my
Yes.
grandparents. They were married from my grandparents were my grandmother I think was 16. It was death that separated them at what 50, after 50 odd years of marriage. And when my grandfather died before her, everybody thought that she was gonna die first because she was sickly. But she died 4 years later, and for all that 4 years, she cried to go home to be with her husband. That's how they love. She knew no other man from she was 16. You know, so
Okay, so I'm back. Let's.
yeah.
So thank you for. Hey, I had to. I'm back. So yes, our audience, we need to hop on over there quickly, but we also want to talk about marriage these days. The types, whether it's at City Hall, whether it's in a church, in a garden, all of those things, the costs, and can marriage be on a low budget? Some, because people like Sharik, I had a decent wedding. I'm sure Sharik,
Yes, very much.
everybody
It was a
else,
lovely garden wedding. Yeah.
yes,
She's
but
trying to be modest, Harry.
some have said it was decent.
She had a beautiful wedding. She had a beautiful wedding. It was lovely, and I'm so glad. At one point, I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it, and I almost started crying. And when things work out, I could come. I said, "Okay, couldn't miss this. The lady has been my friend from how long, you know? So we
Okay.
couldn't miss the wedding."
Yes. So just let us kind of, touch these points because there are people who are watching who have never been married. They've perhaps been budgeting, planning for it. They don't know if they should go big or small. And truthfully, when my aunt had said to me, so about how much people, about 50.
I had
But Harry,
150 at mine. Mine was 150.
but remember back in the day when people getting married, way back, I'm talking like to my mother's, grandmother's days. The whole community come down for a wedding, you know.
They're coming,
Especially
Yes.
invited or not. Invited or
There was
not.
no
They're
invitation.
coming.
There was no invitation issued then. You only
Yes.
hear that somebody getting married and you show up. That's it.
When Auntie said, was it only 50? It's only going to be 50.
So I'll talk
It
first
was very
because
charming. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on my end. Because as you see, even if I chip out, the platform is still active.
Yes.
Going, yeah.
Yes.
There's something going on over on my thing. But anyway, so when she said 50, I only looked. I decided I was not going to disclose too much as the list, we were compiling the list. So I didn't tell nobody, oh, it looked like me go have X amount. We just kept moving, just kept me and my planners, we just kept planning and adding as we went along. And it was a decent number.
Yes.
Yes.
It could have been more, but we know we couldn't have done that. But
Right.
nevertheless, so there are people who are wondering, should I just go down a city hall? For me, the city hall thing never settled. Don't settle with me.
Yeah.
But for
I,
people who had to do it for a lot of reasons, and they're still
yes.
married today. So, it's not so much the venue, it's just
Yeah.
It's the heart. It's the
it's
heart.
the two people and what your intentions are. So let's go there. But before that, our audience, they are
Oh my.
I found over Jackie and look at the audience, what the audience is saying.
Yeah, but
Okay.
no,
Let me see if
no,
I can.
That's what she was about to do, to look at the
Okay.
chat.
Yeah. I'm not sure which section she was going to start from because there are quite a few in the area of the mountain here.
She's coming back.
Okay. You were going to read the comments, Dee?
you can go ahead just in case I am.
Yeah, but we need to do the comments. We have a lot of comments.
Yeah. So let me see. We can, and then if so we have
Sorry.
Andrea says, I had wedding registry at more than one location, so there was no duplicate.
But then them never have that.
Shakira, Shakira's a designer from Africa.
Yeah, man. It was
Okay.
made for her, It was made for her specifically. Yeah. There's not another one
Yeah.
like it.
Yes. Oh, Shari,
Very good.
I don't see her.
She fell off. Hopefully she come back in.
Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. So Jackie, while you were talking, Shakira says, wow, Jackie, deep. Yes. And there was something that you mentioned. So she was saying you need a show on that. But
Yeah, it probably is what Jackie was
The
saying.
menopause.
She had a show, so
yes, marriage takes work.
yeah,
Holy.
Yeah.
definitely.
Marie says, I got married in my living room the entire ceremony. It was beautiful. My cousin and sister-in-law did a wonderful job, about 20 people. See what we're
There
talking
you
about?
go.
Right?
Yes.
And I asked,
Simple.
does the size of the wedding determine the longevity of the marriage?
Not at
No,
all.
No,
not
See,
one.
have nothing to do with
people
that.
have it to say. A lot of people also have it to say no. For sure, people have it to say that the bigger your wedding, the more likely it is that your marriage is not gonna.
That
No.
don't make sense.
Say, some people say
Yeah, people say that, but that's
small
rubbish.
weddings. When them weddings small and intimate, it seems to last longer.
Yeah.
It's just
That
you
has
know,
nothing to do with it at all.
It
No.
doesn't. We know that it doesn't.
Big
No,
or
but it
small,
has
it
to
has
do with the
nothing to do.
individuals, nothing to do with the size. It has to do with individual.
The individuals.
Two
It just
people every day. Shakira says we did a mix ceremony in the church, reception in a banquet hall. We had 375 guests.
whoa.
And let me just
No
say
way.
that. Let me just say that. Besides Sherry, her mom's was the next top of the topper. Here's Sherry calling me. Hold on.
Oh, because I see her, but I'm not seeing. Okay, so she said, Eval says, did my wife say decent wedding? Don't
He
forget,
said yes,
Forget
Eval.
the
She said
fireworks.
so.
don't
He
forget the fireworks.
Lady D, Sharik is backstage. Can you pull her? Can you put her in? Gotcha.
Uh-oh.
Tried to pull her in and she gone.
No, she went to meet
I
her.
know.
She went to open the
She,
door.
no, she gonna open the door for you.
She went to open the door.
Sharik back in. She's backstage.
She's
Well, I'm not.
backstage.
I see her, but I don't see her. See, I don't see her camera is not up. That's why I don't add her.
Oh, okay.
Her camera.
Yeah, something is going on.
Maybe
I don't
so.
know.
I don't see her camera, so that's why I don't add her.
What if it's a New York grid thing?
So Shreya says, I told myself I must not owe anyone after the wedding, and I succeeded in doing that. Hey.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
She says
Sarah
her
says,
camera is on, Lady
but,
D.
yeah, but
She
I'm
says
not
her
seeing.
camera is on.
I'm not seeing her. I'm not. She's
Yeah,
not.
that is quite possible because when I came on first too, I could see myself, could see you guys, and you
Yeah,
weren't
She
seeing
said
because
she
me.
I
was
don't let
added.
you in. I
It's the
can
same.
see
Yeah.
when you guys come in, but I can't.
Right.
You can't see me, but I can see you. So until
Yes.
I add you to the platform, so here she is, but her camera is not there.
Pull her up if you, I mean, she
Okay.
says her camera is on though, so I don't
See
know.
there, it's black.
It's
That's
yeah,
what
it's
I'm
not showing. It's not showing.
saying. Shakira says, but we did the formalities 10 years later, so was able to budget accordingly. Okay.
Okay, so it
Very
was
nice.
originally a small, intimate wedding, I would imagine.
Yes.
And then the 10-year, okay, wonderful. Because
Carol
I
says,
can do that. Some,
one thing must be clear when you are about to get married, never let friend decide about your dress. Hey.
yeah,
Huh.
You decided you're gonna wear it.
Mm-hmm.
or a few other
But
things.
a lot of people have good intentions and they will try to sway you and tell you stuff. And if you don't
Yeah.
know your own mind, you get swayed. And then when you turn around, you look like junk, you know?
Well, they say in wedding you should always have something borrowed. Well, my headpiece here was borrowed. The lady that made my dress, she loaned me that headpiece.
That look like it be a 20 pound max.
No, it's very light, very light.
I
It's
thought
all
I thought mine was kind of puffy,
no,
but
it was
your
heavy.
one
It was very light, but that was something that was borrowed. And I wore they said something borrowed, something blue. I had on
Yeah.
blue underwear and borrowed headpiece.
Oh,
all
yeah.
right,
Okay.
all right.
Jankado. No, you're not gonna see. Oh, I flashed.
I'm having so much fun.
Oh, yes. But truthfully, though, a wedding, I wish Shari could. She's not, her camera is there. Ask her to refresh or something, Sharon
Yeah, I
said.
told her to try again because her camera
Yes.
is not coming up.
Oh my goodness. What's happening this morning? It's cutting out, cutting out.
Very temperamental today.
the internet having an attitude.
I wonder if I may cut off me here. The StreamYard may recognize.
It don't recognize you to the tell producer if you figure out rig you through it and yeah.
They're not streaming are
Who
not
is it?
recognizing you. No, that's a good one.
No, sir.
No, Paddy. I think I'm wrong week there, producer.
He's too much
Oh
here.
my goodness.
She's trying. Ladies and
Okay, she's
gentlemen,
backstage again. She's
yes,
backstage again.
see
Oh,
her.
that's a good one.
See there.
Oh my goodness.
She comes up. She
Oh,
comes.
it comes up blank. I wonder what's going on there.
Maybe her camera is turned off.
Yeah, but she would have figured it out by now. But Miss Spirit no recognize what producer say Miss Spirit no recognize the host.
That's too funny.
I know why. Your spirit no recognize the host. Can you imagine the poor computer?
Bring on producer and say they might recognize him.
So Carol says, my friend said, well, it's not your first wedding, so just get a. You see that now? Just get a little dress.
Period. That's not right.
You know, people know
Oh.
easy.
If it's not your first wedding, you shouldn't wear white.
Yeah, I hear that. Yes.
Well, that's a
Who
whole
decide?
other story.
I didn't want to do white though. I didn't want to do white.
The color was perfect. The color you used was perfect. And that's your first wedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a nice dress. It was a beautiful
Beautiful.
dress.
Nice
Yeah.
cream, like a soft cream. It was beautiful.
The spirit recognized the ghost.
Oh, the computer, the internet spirit. I must see that.
Yes, that's what she needs. Internet spirit. She really need to put on the wig because she gone again.
When she pop up back with her wig. And it's all
That will be something else.
but
If it can happen, it will.
you
But
know,
but I while we're here waiting for her to return, I have a cousin who got married in Jamaica, and it was the simplest wedding me ever see. I don't even know if I should call it a wedding. It wasn't a wedding. It was just a ceremony because she got dressed at my house. I was the one who helped her to get dressed at my house. She walked to the church because the church was right in the district, small district. She walked there and there was no, I don't even think there was anybody in the church. I don't know because I didn't go. I only had to get her dressed at my house, my grandmother's house. Not in my house, my grandmother's house, because I happened to have been in St. Mary the weekend off. And I had to get her dressed. And she wasn't wearing any makeup or anything because they're a church of God, so they don't do jewelry and makeup and all these things. So it was just the dress, her hat, short, simple dress. She walked to the church. They got married. They never went on no honeymoon, go anywhere. She stayed at the husband's house. So it's the simplest and easiest and quickest wedding I've ever experienced.
wow.
That's
Very
like
simple.
There's Sharik now. Where's Lady D to bring her back upstairs on thing?
Can everyone see
Oh,
me?
Yes, we can.
yes.
Oh.
And now the host is out. Now
There
the
you
house is
are.
back.
You're back.
Both
I
of you.
just went on my phone. I just started to use my phone.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
Welcome back, Sharon. Yes, we are here, my love. The show is going on, nevertheless. Great laughs, good pointers. So we're not worried. Andrea says, my dressmaker came to see me when I was dressing. She kept saying, I lose a lot of weight. My mom died a few months before. Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
that will make it happen. Yeah.
So the
I was warned not to put on any weight.
producer is asking, big question. With the new era of marriage, anyone here attended a same-sex wedding? Would you?
I was
I've never.
invited to one, but I didn't go. I did a lot of introspection and soul searching, and I did not go. It was a co-worker of mine and a female getting married to another female, and I said I couldn't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it. I've never been
Yeah.
to one, and I've never been invited to one. I've never been invited to one, and I certainly would not go if I ever get an invitation. I don't think I would go either. I can't agree with stuff like that. I have to be open to myself and be real to myself.
Yeah.
I go out of curiosity just to see what it's all about.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So what you
Yeah.
think?
Out of
It's the same
curiosity.
thing. I mean, I imagine. I mean, I didn't go. I saw pictures. She sent me pictures afterwards and stuff. And other people I know have attended similar. And when I see it's the same thing. It's just that it's the same. It's bride and bride or groom and groom. It's not bride and so the
Yeah,
language is different, but they do everything the same.
same way.
From
And they refer to each other as my wife or my husband.
yeah.
That's how they do it. I can't manage that. It's too much for me.
Right.
Oh,
But as people are getting married these days, we attend weddings and we enjoy ourselves and so on. And I think when couples now have to live in a space and to adjust to each other, the give and take. If you are people of faith, then there is the prayer and they say teeth and tongue will meet. I can truly say that I have not had that where we have no disagreement and I've not experienced that. And I still have a way to go, but that's not my experience presently. But um,
Teeth and tongue are for me to make
All right.
food sweet. I posted that on Facebook the other day and they were cracking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there must be some, rational way that things can be worked out, and that's what
I
I
agree.
thought.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not robots. Of course, you're gonna
Yeah,
have disagreements, but not
Of course.
disrespectfully so. And you
disrespect.
should know each other to a certain extent. So you know this might trigger my partner a certain way. The person don't like
So
this.
you
Things they
avoid
don't
it.
like. It's simple. Just don't do it. That's
Because
all
remember,
there
now
is.
you
Be
uh,
considerate.
now you're not
Treat
totally.
Everyone say we don't have no teeth.
tea time tongue with
Everyone say we don't have no
No,
teeth.
no, you're not living just for you.
Oh my God. Oh well. We're not gonna follow up him on that one.
no, no, no.
Yeah, but there was some questions on the crawler just now. Can you pull them back to see if we
Uh,
can have them addressed there?
which one? Let me see.
There it was going across that what are some memorable
Oh,
weddings
you
you've
mean?
attended
Oh, you
and so
mean for my banners? Okay.
the
Mhm.
banner, yeah. I was calling it a crawler. Sorry for my that's what
Yes.
was somebody who attended that left a lasting impression? Well, Sharik's wedding left a lasting impression. I've gone to 1,525,650 million before hers, and hers is like all the way up to
Up
here.
there. Hmm.
Okay.
Like she was explaining in the beginning, the attention to detail, the personalizing, the hand picking, it was just like my pastor, that Pastor Cora would say, it was just dandy fine.
That
Dandy
define. Yeah,
fine.
Pastor Corey still out saying that.
Yeah.
Then
It was
fine.
that
I mean,
define.
Sherry, was there anything that went wrong that day? Somebody was not in place, something missing? Because we didn't notice anything. And it's hard to find like a perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
It's
don't think
hard.
I noticed if anything went wrong either. Like
Well,
everything
that's
was
amazing.
Girl, you never
perfect.
have any time to not even notice. Because I'm sure
Not
you were basking in the whole thing. Even if something
No,
was
and I
not
have
perfect,
to
you
say
probably
that
wouldn't even
her
pay any
her
attention to it, girl.
her attendants were very efficient. They were
yes.
their attention to detail. They were just poised, really nice. You have some weddings where the attendees, your maid of honor is over there primsing and priming herself instead of you. You have people out of
Hmm.
place. You have people not paying attention, fidgeting, late, all kinds of stuff that irk your nerves. So I didn't see any of that. Everybody was just doing their thing. By the time you
Doing their
turn up,
thing. Yes.
yeah, they were fluffing her up, they were patting down, flowers was being held, this was doing that, you were ushered this way. It was just great.
Yes, it
And I
was
would
organized.
say if I had any advice for any brides that want to get married like now in this age, especially if you're going to have a big grand wedding like that, I would advise getting like a day of coordinator. My day of coordinator truly was the godsend. She not only helped plan through the process. She actually doesn't plan weddings for a living. She's just a project manager. But having that project manager mind be able to
Hmm.
say, hey, did you think about this? Did you think about that? That was really helpful during the planning process. And then the day of, she made sure everything was exactly where it needed to be when I wasn't around. So I wasn't around, my attendees were with me, my maid of honor was with me. If my mom is doing this or my husband's mom is doing that, She made sure that everything ran straight to time. She had a whole run of show down to the minute when everything needed to be done and completed. So I believe having her really was extremely helpful of making sure that the wedding went by smoothly. So, if there are any brides that want to have a big wedding like that as well and kind of need extra hands that's not like family members, I would
Uh-huh.
highly suggest getting like a day of coordinator because she takes care of everything that you're not even thinking about,
Thinking of, yes.
Yes,
So that
and
was
that's beautiful.
extremely
Yeah.
helpful. That was
Question,
extremely
Shari.
helpful to have her.
Yeah,
Question,
I never
Shari.
had a plan. I made list of my own because I'm a sucker for making lists. So I just made list of what I wanted. My supervisor back then did assist me on the final touches, but the major planning and the decision of, on stuff was just my Norman and myself for the most part.
Yeah, it
Because
was
as I said, I made
essentially
lists. But
it was
yeah, but then
essentially the same.
wedding in my
One moment,
time is
ma'am.
different from now too.
Yeah, one moment.
Yeah.
Jackie, you wanted to ask her a question.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna ask her if she was a bridezilla or not. when
Who,
you're
me?
planning,
No, no.
planning something that grand, sometimes you see people turn into bridezilla and they weren't.
No, it's funny because like my like the connotation of bridezilla is that you're just demanding everyone around and you're just
Mhm.
mean and all that stuff. I was just extremely organized. Like after my husband proposed, I created an entire PowerPoint presentation for my entire bridal party. I told them all of the events that was going to be happening in the year of 2023. So that list of events included engagement party, bridal shower. I did a photo shoot with them. I was very organized with that. And then I also didn't, because I'm like a type A type of person where I need to know everything that's going on. I need to have my hands in everything. I put my entire bridal party on a payment plan for the entire year. So that payment plan included their, fees for bridal shower, their fees for bachelorette, their dress, their hair, their shoes, their nails.
That's
So
good.
it was very
I never
it
heard
was
that
very
before.
smooth. It was very smooth for my bridal party because they didn't have to really worry about anything. They just said, "Hey, how much am I sending this month?" They sent their monies. Me and my maid of honor, we purchased everything. It just helped me feel more comfortable that I had my hands in everything. So
That's smart.
we purchased everything, we dresses, everything, and we pretty much just brought it to the hotel the weekend of the wedding so they didn't have to worry about any of that. We just made it really smooth. So I wouldn't say I was a bridezilla, but I was very overly organized. I will say
Organized.
that.
Yeah.
You are your mother's daughter, honey. You are your mother's daughter. It's in your genes.
Yeah.
That's
Very
Yeah,
much
good.
so.
No,
and
I
that's
I
a good
like
didn't want to
trait.
have
That is
to.
a good trait because you should be in control to some degree, or you should just be in control, period. Because if
Yeah,
you are humming and
say
humming and don't
I would
know, your peeps are gonna do the same thing, and then somebody gonna
yeah.
drop the ball. You know what I mean?
I would say that's another piece of advice that I would give
Okay.
to brides because one of the things, like when I was joining all of these like wedding group chats prior to my wedding, I was reading different stories and different people's experiences and everything. And there were two common things that I noticed that a lot of brides complained about. One was that they had a lot of anxiety when they left responsibilities up to the bridesmaids and the groomsmen.
yeah.
So let's say they're saying, "Hey, I want you to get your dress by this time." That time comes and the bridesmaid doesn't have their dress. It's this unnecessary
Mm-hmm.
stress that they call on themselves. So that was my main thing. I was like, listen, I'm going to take care of everything. All you need to do is send me the money and I'll take care of everything. So that was really smooth for us. And then another thing that I noticed was a lot of people complained about, chasing after RSVPs, people that are saying that they're coming or not coming. So the way that I counteracted that was I gave everyone the opportunity to RSVP for my wedding from the save the dates. So by the time the invitations came out, at least 90% of my wedding list had already confirmed yes. So having that, stress relieved from me as well was really important. So I was just really on top of making sure that Everything was organized. The presentation was very clear. No one had any complaints. No one had any complaints. It was very smooth.
Just people were happy.
That's good. And Laney was your Laney was your planner. Jordan,
Yes, yes,
or
Jordan
Laney,
Lane. Yes.
right? And she was in my wedding.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
she
Yeah.
was the
Awesome.
bridesmaid too.
I
Yeah.
will. I will
So
continuously recommend her for any event you have going on. She's
yes,
wonderful.
man, she's good. She came under our tutelage, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we
I told
groomed
her
her
she's
well.
my
Mr.
life
Green, have
event planner.
question.
Any other events I have going on, she's gonna take
Yes.
care of everything.
So here is a question for the new bride and older wives too. What plans you have to keep husband happy?
Cook game. Cook game all day long. The way to a
What's
man's heart
that,
is through his stomach. Prepare good meals. I said the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. When you feed him well, he loves you more.
man? All right.
There you go.
And I'm serious.
Yeah,
I'm saying it
so
jokingly, but it's true.
What say you?
we need a show for that because the
What
younger
say
people,
you, Sherry?
when I say younger people who are in their 40s, they think like the millennials. That's what I realize. So
Uh-huh.
there's a totally different way of making them happy, or they're gonna shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a scope, a scape. That we need to look into. It's completely different from those in their 50s like us.
So
So what we
Sherry, what say
consider
you?
them is something different
I
for
would
them.
say my husband is very very simple. It's not doesn't take a lot to keep him happy. But one thing that we've discussed was that he wants a wife that just pays attention, not only to things he may say, but things he doesn't say as well. So I try to be
Uh-huh.
very observant towards him. I try to kind of fill in the gaps for him when he doesn't ask me to. That's one of the biggest things for him. And I noticed that when I do that, he's on top of the moon. So it doesn't take too much. Of course,
Mhm.
I cook from time to time. He also cooks as well. So that's not really a big thing for us. But for him, it definitely is making sure that I'm being observant of what he has going on and stepping in where I need to step in without him having to ask. That's
Yes,
really big for him. So once I do that, he's more than happy.
wonderful. And here's another question Evol is asking. Young people are not getting married as much these days.
Mm.
Can you motivate them? How can you motivate? Is that
I
something
would
you do?
Yeah, so one thing that I've learned is that when you get married or when you connect with the person that God has set in your life to be your spouse, you really do grow as a person. So, as I stated before, I grew as a woman. I started looking at things a lot differently. I matured. I matured in my walk with Christ. It was almost to the point where I felt like, if I hadn't, accepted him as my spouse and vice versa, how would my growth be? And I feel like a lot of young people are afraid just simply because of commitment. They feel as though if they, lock down to one person, they're unable to still be themselves. They're unable to still grow in the way that they want to. And I think that's a myth. I feel like when you connect with the person that you're supposed to be with, your growth becomes exponential. Especially on like I'm a female, but even on a male standpoint, the Bible clearly says that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and he obtains favor. So there's a level of blessing, right? There's a door of blessing that doesn't open to you if you don't take that step. And then also in marriage as well, we want our marriage to model Christ's love to the church and Christ's marriage to the church. So again, there's another level of blessings that you're unable to unlock if you're not stepping in that area. And I think for young people, they're just kind of afraid of that. And especially it's unfortunate when it's not a lot of examples around. There's not a lot of lasting marriages that people are able to see, young people are able to see and able to attest to. I was very fortunate where A lot of the women, especially women of God and men of God in my family, all been married for long periods of time. Same thing with my husband. His parents have been married for over 30 years. His grandparents married for over 50 years. So we were constantly surrounded by good examples of what marriage is supposed to look like. So I do feel like it's probably the lack of representation and the fear of commitment that kind of holds young people back. But when you kind of surrender yourself to what God has for you, it becomes less scary, I believe. And I do feel that it causes you to trust. It causes you to trust. It causes you to understand that when you kind of just let go and let God, that things come to you, your blessings unveil to you. So I feel like once young people kind of get that understanding, I think it'll be a lot easier for them. But it's kind of hard, you know, in our generation now, nobody wants to be married. Everybody wants to,
I
you know,
think
live
too, they're
together
not
without the
approaching.
title and all that. It's a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
and they're not approaching this thing from a spiritual point of view because they're more
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
worldly,
Yes.
more worldly in thoughts. Their minds are, you know, there's so much to grab their attention out there. There's social media and everything that's being said on social media, and they
Yes.
tend to believe
True.
it and follow it.
Yes,
That's
Yes.
their
Solid word,
absolutely.
Jackie. True.
that's their
That's true
Absolutely.
Bible.
because a lot of people,
That's their
when they're
guide,
married, they expect the honeymoon to be
unfortunately.
forever. And marriage is not just about the honeymoon. When the honeymoon is over, the marriage is not done. No, it has just begun. And we need to know that because honeymoon is the
Yeah,
pretty part and the dressing up of the wedding, but behind the
right.
closed doors and the cleaning start taking place and kids start coming into place, and you have to cook and wash and clean and be dropping off kids at school. All of that has to do with marriage. So it's not just the honeymoon and the wedding day. And young folks don't want to take on those burdens as they see it as burden then. The burden of housekeeping, the burden of dealing with kids, dealing with sicknesses, health, whatever there is. So, because what marriage is much more than just the prettiness or the fanciness. It's the behind closed doors scenes that they don't want to encounter with, I think.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a good thing Evol raised this question because we really need to send that messaging out to our young people.
Yeah.
They may not get that in their home. There is no role model of marriage in their home. They
Hmm.
may have friends whose parents are not married. There are a lot of single parents out there. And so they're just living from day to day.
Hmm.
But
Mhm.
it doesn't mean that people are still not getting married. It's just that,
Yeah, well, maybe what Lady D was gonna say is it's just that the role models that they have around them. A lot of these young people, you know, they grew up in single parent households,
Exactly.
and not that anything is wrong with that because you could have mentors who could guide these children from a household of such, but it it spells out different manifests differently when it comes on to relationships and marriages. Their idea of or concept of being together is completely different.
right.
It's
And
completely
here Shakira is saying, for my husband and I, prioritize quality alone time is key. And that makes my husband happy. Keeping him as their focal point during that time keeps him happy. So everybody has found their um, their niche, what works in their marriages, because some people like to be affirmed. Some people fall in the they like to um, sit and just talk, whereby the other person might not like to talk as much, but if you are willing to listen, you spend that time to give them that time. So different dynamics are working, but marriages are great. People are marrying every day. It's just that maybe in our area or where we live, we are not
We're
seeing
not
it as
seeing it.
much, but it is still
True.
happening and people are still going through
day managing their lives and trying to do what is best. Now
Mm-hmm.
turns, hey, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as Shakira says, and Ebon says, marriage is honorable and the bed is undefiled. Shakira said, marriage is a good thing and a part of God's divine plan. So,
Very much
for
so.
those who are, you would like to be married, but somebody asks you and you said, sure, that's enough for me, whether male or female. Sometimes it's not really true. I never said that. Even though
Mm-hmm.
people
I've
would
never spoken like
say,
that either.
boy, Lady D, you're not, look how you're good looking, or you're in a this and you're that, and, what?
You're gonna get married. You're not married. You're not find one man. You're not,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
leave it,
never, I
leave it
never
time.
spoke negative. I never said,
Another thing too that I wanted to say while Lady D got disconnected is your partner should be your best friend. Your partner should be your best friend. I'm gonna say it again. Your partner
Absolutely.
should be your best friend.
Your
Yep.
Norman
best
is my
friend.
best friend. I'm telling you. We talk
Yeah.
about everything. We talk about anything. When
Yeah.
Norman goes to work, we talk on the phone. When he leaves, when he's coming home, we are on the phone chatting until he drives into the garage. I'm serious. Sometimes I say you're not turning off your phone. I hear the garage door go up and he's coming in the house and he's still talking to me on the phone. And that is how we operate.
yes,
When he's on the
Yes.
road, we into constant communication. If I'm on a call and I see him calling, I answer because you never know if something has happened.
Of
So
course. Of
it's
course.
always good to respond.
of
Whoever you have
course,
on the call, have on the phone, put them on hold and say, my hubby's calling, I have to take this call. Because something could have happened to him outside. Don't ignore the call. Just
Oh
take the
no.
call.
Oh no.
So
Oh
Right.
no.
we are in constant communication all day long, he and us. He and I, all day long we chat. And we talk about
Same.
everything and anything. That's how we live. We're best friends.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
And he will, and Norman, another thing too, you should have always have something that you have to rely on your hobby for. Norman rely on me for a lot of stuff, and I do the same thing with him. We complement each other because of how we are and how long we've been together.
mm,
There are certain things
Mm.
that he doesn't worry about or try to get involved. He just leave it to me because it's gonna be taken care of, and vice versa. So we have that kind of a
He can
compatibility in
depend
our
on you, and
relationship.
you can depend on him.
yes.
Yes.
There's
And here,
actually
Shakira said,
there's actually, if I may, there's one other thing that I just want to make sure that I say for, the young people who are wanting to get married is that please remember that don't don't use past relationships or relationships that you've seen deter you from wanting to pursue marriage with someone or wanting to accept marriage with someone, because a lot of times, and I can speak for females, a lot of times we kind of like we do wife things in like girlfriend roles and then get upset when things don't work out and then think to ourselves, well, I've done this and I've given my all and I've this, that, and a third, and
mm,
if this doesn't work out here, there's no way it's going to work out in marriage, when in all actuality you were just operating in a role that was not meant for that job description. So
right.
you can't be a girlfriend doing wife things, then get upset that the relationship doesn't work out, and then it deters you from moving on to a marriage, right? You
Go
want to
ahead, girl. Go
act in
ahead.
the role. You want to act in the role that will require that will you'll get the most out of what you're putting in, right?
Yes.
So you don't
Absolutely.
act as a wife before it's time for you to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? You prep yourself, you prepare yourself, you get closer to Christ. You want to hear more from Christ. That was a big thing for me in my engagement. I was thinking to myself, like, I need to hear more from him. I need to be able to say, I heard from God. This is what he's telling me to do. This is the direction he wants me to move in. This is what he wants me to do now. This is what he wants me to do later. That was very important for me to decipher the roles. And I think for young people, they say like, well, I'm basically his wife, or I'm living with him, or I'm this, I'm that, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And then when it doesn't work out, it deters them for something that God has for them. It's just that they were, beating the gun. They weren't waiting for their time. So that's just
Yes.
something I wanted to make sure to say for young people. Like, make sure you're moving in the role that you are expected to move in at that time, and then let God unveil and unroll the rest.
The
Yes, I
rest of
believe
it.
so. Because
That's
something I said, I had said, all right, so I'm single for a long time and so on. And you go through your road as a single person. But when I knew that I really want this, I asked the Lord and I'm like waiting patiently and so on. And then I remember, so I had already shared this story about me and the list. Oh, I had a grand list and I would put that list before the Lord. And then he had said one morning, put the list away. So I put the list
Yes.
away.
yeah.
And in that prayer that morning, I found myself saying, which was not intentional, I can tell you that. Heard myself saying, Lord, please prepare me for the person you will send to me. And it hit me then that not only am I just praying about, oh, I want husband, but that when he comes, I would one be prepared and be able to walk in that role that he has already crafted out
Yeah.
for me. Because we can be praying all we like. So thank you, Shari. We can be doing all we're doing before, and then it spills over into when he sends the mate, and we're still
Mhm.
operating
Yeah.
in that vein. When that is not it anymore, you need to move to the next level. So
Mhm.
I believe that, and Eval alluded to the fact that we should have a part two, and Shakira is saying, hey, we need to have it. And that we would love to have you back because then we can now speak to our young people. We need to talk because some of them not getting any kind of mentorship whatsoever,
Mm.
whether they're in church, outer church, some of them are not getting it. And remember now they're being influenced left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And center.
Yeah.
I mentioned
Yeah.
that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we really yeah, this whole marriage something here. Hey. So so
And that's why you ought to get counseling before. But I remember the church that I got married, we got married in. That was a requirement. We had to get counseling from the pastor that married us. It was a requirement. We had to go for counseling for a few days.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's another thing.
And
And we
we can add when old people want to operate in young people's place or space.
Could you explain that?
Why? Let's have a few little space. When we do a
No, it's
hotline, please. Because they too need the same counseling. You realize that people are nowadays out here, they don't know how to approach you, they don't know what to say to you, the things that they're saying to you, you realize that they too need some good counseling or they
yeah.
need some good
Mhm.
spiritual backs down. You understand? So they can understand that we're we're not operating in the same space.
Mhm, mhm.
So
So we're going to wrap up now, but certainly we have touched a lot of good pointers. Uh,
Yes.
we probably
Yeah,
also
come
need
go.
to we probably also need to do one for the singles. We always talk about married people and marriages. We probably also need to speak to some young people and even some older people who are unmarried and they would rather stay that way. Then we'll see why they have made that decision and how we can probably invite them to change, if needs be. But that's a
mhm.
thought.
Right. But, marriage is great. I'm enjoying it. Every day I'm enjoying it. And I already tell Eval that um, I don't want to be going out, looking all nice and we are all hand. And then we come in and all.
And then you come in and you gone there, so? And
And
your
we
husband,
gone there, so
and your
that
husband
no
gone
make
there.
no sense.
Or you both go here, so, but
Yes.
you turn your backs to each other.
Oh no.
Me never turn back. I love hug up.
All
Me
right.
like attention. Now,
All
now,
right.
that's the crave.
And I'm speaking from experience, so don't take that lightly.
All right,
Yeah,
Jackie, part
I'm not
2 for you. Part 2, okay? Part 2 for you, and it will be greater later.
My part two can be combined with somebody else's.
That's fine.
Sure that we do. But
Now,
these
but
things
go
are
on until Lady D come back. Then all of we can grow on
so big. It's so big. You know, these topics are so big, and there's so many levels to them. You can go on.
There's a lot of sub topics to the topic.
So much to cover, because people take this thing lightly, and it's really not. It should not be approached lightly.
I see here Andrea is saying I don't play that game because I fell off. I'm not sure what that is.
No, I was saying when we were saying that people when you come in, you said you and Eval can go out holding hands, and then you don't want to come back home, and one gone and the other one gone.
Right.
And I also said you both of you could go to the same direction, but when you go into that direction, backs are turned.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You understand? You don't want that. That's not marriage. That's not togetherness. That's what we were saying.
Yes. Yes, and I added to that and said, we love hug up, so I mean that.
Right.
All right, there you go.
I love attention, you know.
But truth be told, you know, if we have sleeping patterns, right? Individually, you have sleeping patterns.
Yes, everyone.
When you start now to be resting together in your bed, you sometimes maybe have to coach one to say, hey, you can't be over there side bed by yourself, so. You know,
are you going to
be over here? That's why I bed too little, because when bed little, you know, have to run go. And you bed too big, you can be over there. And you have to take taxi to go over there to him, and he take taxi come to you over here. Oh Lord, laughter is medicine.
Oh my gosh. What a morning. What a morning. All right. I think we should wrap up so Lady can figure out with StreamYard what is happening with the broadcast, because we've never had kind of this interruption.
Yeah, we normally have a long goodbye. We go have a short goodbye.
Or I have to ask somebody to do the goodbye just in case.
No, just do it quick.
So before we even mention anything else, let me tell you something. I go down because I have little callaloo to go pick outside. The showing off on people. I planted callaloo and I reaped callaloo. So selling my callaloo to New York. But anyway, me and go down. Sharik, it was wonderful speaking to you this morning and hearing you express yourself about marriage. I'm so happy for you guys. And I truly wish you all the best. And take the few little nuggets that we dropped in here, each of us, and apply it to your marriage. Share it with somebody else. Share this program with somebody else. It may not have been a perfect broadcast because of the breaks, but the nuggets, the lessons learned. I always say share it with your marriage ministries at church, share it with your singles ministry at church, and single friends, married friends. They can learn too from this program. When we did our show a few weeks ago, I didn't know how many people it touched. People from Canada. Met up with people I haven't seen for 40 years at my high school reunion the other day. And it touched my heart for them to tell me that, Jackie, you are our hero. I didn't even know that these people watched the show. So you never know. It might seem like nothing here, but somebody in some other parts of the world or somewhere is taking notes. So that's all I have to say.
Absolutely. So, Sharik, thank you so much.
Yes,
and
of course.
We have to
yes.
part two.
I will be available for you all. It's my honor.
Yeah, we have to do part two.
Thanks for accepting the invite, Sharik. It was very short notice, but You know, you're my girl, so I
Of
appreciate it.
course,
Auntie, of course.
Thank
good
you,
to see
Shari,
my
for joining. It was
spirit.
an awesome show.
It was lovely to meet you
So
ladies.
we thank everybody. So let me, Sharon, make we close
Yes,
out and enjoy yourself, Sharon.
yes,
Fling
all
two
right,
mango over there.
yes.
All right. So, ladies,
We are come
it
go
was
round.
wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And we will definitely meet up again and we'll meet up for a huddle.
Yes.
So,
All
Sounds
right.
good. Bye,
So we
take
can
everyone.
care
go
Okay,
on,
bye, everyone.
go
and have a
round,
wonderful weekend.
go round. So go down, go up, go on in.
I'm
Everything
going
that
in.
we do best.
Yeah.
Yes.
So blessings, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your
Bye.
week. We're out, we're out, we're out.
We gone.
17 years. Oh my goodness. You probably didn't even realize that the years are going by so fast with digital media, television, radio, and all these digital medias have evolved, and you have rolled with the tides, and you have taken this from one level to the next. And I'm just praying that God will give you the strength to take this to even a higher level. You have brought us some great presentations, great shows, and your heart is always in it. And I thank you for being in my life, and I thank you for having me in your life. So thanks again for 17 years of great radio. Thanks again for a myriad of years to come of more and better. Your better years are on the way. So congratulations again, my friend, and God bless you always.
Congratulations to Lady D. Denise Gomez for celebrating 17 years of excellence, inspiration, and unwavering dedication. What a phenomenal milestone. From Inside the Zone to Voices with Lady D, you have graced the airwaves with knowledge, warmth, and a powerful voice that resonates across the Caribbean and throughout the diaspora. Your passion for uplifting our people, your fearless storytelling, and your deep cultural insight continue to enlighten and empower listeners near and far. Your journey is not just a celebration of longevity, but one of purpose, staying true to your roots, your community, and your mission. So, Lady D, here's to 17 incredible years on the mic, and to many more chapters of impact, truth, and powerful conversations. We salute you, Lady D, with love and admiration. This is Chris Wilby, the Vibes Master, and from all of us here at Caribbean Vibes Radio Network. Congratulations, Lady D.
Oh no, come here. Come hear this. Lady D celebrating her 17th year in radio broadcasting with a name change at that. Voices with Lady D. That will be the new name. Logs, make sure to come and support her. Tell on a friend and tell on a neighbor, say, Voices with Lady D is now broadcasting everywhere in the tri-state area and Jamaica. So let's celebrate her and her achievement.
Celebrate the heartbeat of Caribbean culture with Satideh Mawnin Runnings. Join us on Saturday at 10 a.m. on YouTube as we showcase the vibrant heritage of Jamaica and the wider Caribbean with 4 incredible women, Sherns, Max, Jackie, and yours truly, Lady D. From powerful stories to cultural traditions, we're bringing the flavor, rhythm, and excellence of the Caribbean straight to you. It's more than a show. It's a celebration of the roots and traditions that inspire and unite us. Subscribe to Voices with Lady D on YouTube and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to stay connected. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. it's Satideh Mawnin Runnings. Come feel the vibes. Satideh Mawnin Runnings, where Caribbean heritage comes alive. Welcome to Voices with Lady D, where every voice has power. I'm your host, Lady D Denise Gomez Green, inviting you to join me each week for real conversations, powerful stories, and uplifting perspectives that shine a light on voices from the community and the diaspora. Kick off your week with the Monday Drive from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Dive deep on Thursdays with Center Stage from 6 to 8 p.m. and ease into your weekend with Satideh Mawnin Runnings every Saturday at 10 a.m. Catch Voices with Lady D on YouTube, Caribbean Vibes Radio Network online, and YouTube, and Fit FM 96.7 in Stuart Castle, Trelawney, Jamaica, or tune in on Linkage Radio online. So lock in, turn it up, and remember, every voice has power. This is Voices with Lady D.